Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Next Door podcast. I am Bessie Next Door, and I'm like your bestie next door. If you like your tea to be extra, extra sweet, then this place is not for you because we like our tea to be sweet and bitter. Sweet enough that it goes down, bitter enough to wake us up. Now, if you are a returning subscriber or returning watcher, you already know how we get down. If you're not sipping, you need to start sipping now because I already started. Y'all already know. I'm here with my American honey. I already drunk this halfway through from the last episode. So you guys see I am not an alcoholic, but I enjoy having a little sip here and there. This alcohol, like I said in previous episodes, American honey, wild turkey, I think it's really made for high class women that enjoy whiskey because it's really not that strong at all. And it only goes well with Red Bull. You can't pair it with anything else besides Red Bull. For those who love when I do my sips and loves the sound of the alcohol, let's do some ASMR. My sips are always legendary. My first sip is just like, it summons the energy of food for thought. And this episode, because we have the red backgrounds and I got the red lip, we're talking about red flags in a relationship. But you know what I've noticed? Most of the time, a lot of women like to ignore the red flags either for two reasons. Because number one, they're scared of being alone, or number two, their biological clock is ticking. They get into this marriage, they get into this relationship, and then they hate the person that they're dating. Kind of knew the red flags before you got into the relationship. So you really can't be upset about what it is you got yourself into. Carry your cross. Regardless of if you were scared to be alone or your biological clock was ticking, there's no man that's perfect. So you have to pick your baggage. If you want a man who is financially stable, just understand that number one, he may not have that much time with you. Number two, he may not be emotionally available. You have to understand that. You're not going to get everything. You have to pick. Do you want the 80 or do you want the 20? Which one is more important to you? That's what you have to start processing. However, there's certain red flags that cannot be ignored. For example, a man that is too prideful. If he's too prideful, that is something you cannot work with. Because you know why? When you are in the marriage or in a serious relationship with that individual, he will never tell you sorry. He will have too much pride. He will never try to understand you. He will never say, okay, babe, I'm sorry that this happened. I want us to come to an understanding so I can understand you better. He will just instead have his pride and just walk around and feel like he's right. And trust me, I've dated a guy like that. Absolutely the worst. When you're dating a guy that's too prideful, they feel like no matter what, they are always right and you are wrong because you're a woman and it shouldn't matter because you're the woman in the relationship. You should always come and beg him. And that is the worst thing because you can't grow with someone that's too prideful and you can't grow with someone that doesn't understand that sometimes they can be wrong. When you're picking a guy, you have to look at so many other things. I know I talk a lot about money. Money is also important. The reason why money is so important and the reason why money matters a lot is the freedom that it comes with. Dating a man that's financially stable is not just about the money. It's about the peace of mind. Because when you're dating a man who's broke, it affects him emotionally and mentally. And that's one fact that a lot of men do not like to admit, but I'm going to tell you, that's the truth. That's why it's always advisable to date a guy who is financially stable so you can really see him for who he is. And there's certain characteristics about him that you may not like, that you may have to improve on, but at least you know that he's financially stable enough that when you need something, he can provide it for you. Like, I never understood why women will get pregnant by men that are financially unstable and call them deadbeats. You knew he wasn't before you decided to have his kid, but you still had his kid, and now you're saying he's a deadbeat. Make it make sense. And dating a man with money doesn't necessarily mean he's the richest person in the world, but it means that he's stable enough that if you get pregnant, you know that he can take care of you and the family and he will lead you guys in the right direction. Let's talk about it. A man who's broke cannot be a leader. Red flag number 5. How he treats people around him, strangers, family. Like if that man is disrespectful to a waiter that did not deserve that disrespect, I'm talking about straight up disrespectful, like here, take my stuff, here, this and that. What makes you think he's not going to be like that to you when you get to know him better? Pick your men wisely. I see comments like, oh, well, women having all these standards, you're going to be alone. Like, I don't respond to all my comments on TikTok, on Instagram, because sometimes it just be so negative and I just don't consume a lot of negative energy because I know that I'm doing God's work by passing down information. Anyone who followed me from day one to now and really listen to the stuff that I say, I'm not coming from a prostitute standpoint. I'm coming from a realistic standpoint because I've been the masculine woman and I've been the feminine woman, and I will always choose being feminine every single time. Real men don't care about how much money you have or care about you being a boss babe. This is a primary example. A comment on one of my shorts, a man comment this: men don't care about you being a boss babe. They don't care about you being a boss babe and showing that, yeah, I can bring the same amount of money you bring to the table. They don't care about that. They care about having a feminine woman that knows how to be a woman. That's more important. A man is already competing with the world. Why would he want to come home to compete with his woman? Think about it. I know this is about red flags and everything, but when I have my main topic, I always have a main topic, and then I like to dive into different topics so you can really get the full information and grasp everything that I'm saying in one episode. Because there's so many things I could talk about when it comes to red flags and this and that. And I don't like to point the finger at men because it's not only about men. And if you followed me for a long time, you know that I don't just point the finger at men. You know, I'm not just like, oh, men are this, men are that. Men are not trash. Because it's like women that say men are trash are really starting to poison other women to believe that men are trash, because they be like, men are trash. Men are trash. You can't trust them. Sweetie, the men you deal with are trash. Every man is not trash. Don't let them poison you. All men are not trash. The men they deal with is trash. They should tell you that the men that I deal with is trash. I attract trash because I'm not willing to invest in myself. I tell you ladies all the time, and we're talking about red flags and men, but I'm always going to tell you guys a message. I tell you ladies this all the time. The more you invest in yourself and the more you are expensive with yourself is the more men are going to want to spend money on you. If you are cheap with yourself, it will always show. You can always tell a cheap woman from an expensive woman. Facts. This is why I tell you, listen to the High Value Woman audiobook or take the High Value Woman one-on-one course. You will not regret it. Those are things that you pay for, that you know that you're investing in yourself and you're becoming a better woman. The funny thing about it is a lot of people like free things. And I'm going to give you a Nigerian proverb. Free used to pudge belle. Any free thing that you've ever received, do you really value it that much? You don't. You watch it and you forget about it. But when you pay for it, oh no, I need to take it serious. And that's why they make you pay for university. Because if his university was free, nobody would take it serious. But once you pay for it, I bet you're not going to want to waste your money. You guys know I'm always going back and forth with my topic. I'm sorry that if I'm getting off topic. This is your time to pour up again because I'm going to get back to the red flags. Another red flag that women may feel is a big deal is dating a man with kids. Before making a decision and flagging that man out because he has kids, you need to look at the dynamic that he has with his baby mom. Was it a situation whereby it was a one-night stand and he so happily had a kid with this person? He didn't want the kid, but he had no choice but to take care of the responsibility? Or is it someone that he had a kid with that he was really involved with and he was in love with? Because if he was in love with her and he was dating her, like that was his ex of 6-7 years, sweetie, what do you think is going to happen? He will be digging up in that salmon when you guys are not on good terms. So when you find out if a man has kids, you need to understand the dynamic and the relationship that he has with his baby mom. before you can say, you know what, I can ignore that red flag. You may be thinking, what about me that have kids? Like, am I a red flag? First of all, number one, you don't need to tell any man that you just met about how many kids you have or if you have kids or not, because you don't even know if he's going to be in your life long enough to meet your kids. When you think about it, it's really a waste of time. Why would you tell a man if you have kids or not when you're not even sure if he's going to be in your life long enough to meet your kids? Stop giving out unnecessary information. He shouldn't be focused on your income nor how many kids you have. That's not his business. He shouldn't be knowing that. When you are sure of him is when you can open up to him and tell him, yeah, I have this and many kids or whatever, when you know he's ready to be in your life. But if he's not ready to be in your life, what the hell are you telling him about your kids for? Because it's just like, as a woman on the first date, a man shouldn't know everything about you. He needs to uncover some information. So some things are better left unsaid, not because you're a liar, but because you don't need to say it. You have to be like the Joker. I tell you anything but a lie. If this was a video that brought you to me, this is how I always do my things. I have my topic and then I just bounce around from different topics because, again, when this is in the picture and this is in the picture with a full cup of ice, I mean, what else do you think? I'm going to just sit here and talk about one topic? No, I'm going to go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Absolutely. I'm going to leave you guys with this quote. I'm always going to remind you about this quote. Now, if you haven't already, you should subscribe to my channel. And if you haven't already, you should listen to the High Value Woman audiobook. It's in my description. Or take the High Value Woman one-on-one course. You will not regret. I believe in what I do, so I do what I believe. Don't forget that quote, my besties. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and until we meet again.